This is the Valley Today.
Well, I guess the staff here is just really excited for the new year, and that might be because a lot of our weather is taking place. We're taking a live look right here at downtown Fargo. We can see it's hazy, foggy, but those twinkling lights coming through nice and easy this morning, but we know there's more on the way. Let's head right on over to meteorologist Lisa Green for a professional opinion on what will be taking place outside today. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, it's foggy. It's murky even in town, and we've been watching that view this morning, and it's been getting worse and worse here in that shot. So be ready for some dense fog that not only reduces our visibility, but our temperatures are below freezing. So that means it's freezing fog and roads are going to be slick here too in those areas. So first off, we've got a dense fog advisory that's in effect until 10 a.m. It covers a narrow part of the valley from the Devil's Lake area back down through Grand Forks County, Cass and Clay counties in the southern end of the valley, including Fargo, Moorhead, of course, and then Point South. That doesn't mean we're not experiencing fog elsewhere, but that seems to be where the core of the densest fog happens to be. This is that live view at Luther Family Ford. We can see the lights in the lot illuminating the vehicles there in South Fargo, but beyond that, very difficult to make out. Looks like we've got some headlights of a vehicle on that on-ramp to I-29, but we can't see the interchange that is usually very easily seen, even on what can be murky days here. So dense fog at the airport. Visibility is down to a quarter mile. That 0.3 is just that quarter mile rounded up, and we're looking at 0 in Valley City, so that's been there for some time. We're looking at Cooperstown and Gwinner at a quarter mile, and then other places in the valley seeing lowered visibility up to the Langdon area, half-mile visibility for you. And so we're going to be dealing with this for a little while here this morning. Warmer air is moving in, and it's cooling, and the water vapor in the air becomes those cloud droplets right at the surface. That's how that fog forms. Looking at some quieter weather for us, you can see snow if you're traveling down I-94 toward Minneapolis. You may be running into some snow showers or snow on the road surface there. And here's a look at our conditions right now. A range of temperatures. Fargo's at 16. That's going to feel, you're going to notice that difference when you step out to the milder temperatures there today. Grand Forks at 12. Jamestown's below 0 at 4 below, Bemidji 19. Detroit Lakes, that's one of the sites in Minnesota where we're not getting any data from. FAA seems to be having an issue with their data coming from some of these sites. So hopefully we get that back so we can get those reports to you. But until then, you'll just have to look at surrounding areas to give you an idea of what you're dealing with. The bottom line is we're all warming up and we're looking at some fog too. You can see temperatures rising back into the upper 20s for today. So that's going to make a difference. It's the First Alert Weather Day coming up next week. So this is the other thing to talk about. Tuesday, Wednesday, and now Thursday, all First Alert weather days. I'm going to get into the details on that coming up here in just a couple of minutes.
Absolutely a lot to go over, and it is a very noticeable difference. It is a warm up today as you head outside, so prepare yourself for that. Thank you for that update, Lisa. The former Minneapolis police officer who kneeled on George Floyd's back while another officer kneeled on his neck is expected to be sentenced today to 3.5 years in prison for manslaughter. J. Alexander Kueng pleaded guilty in October to a state count of aiding and abetting second-degree manslaughter. Floyd died on May 25th, 2020 after former officer Derek Chauvin kneeled on his neck for 9.5 minutes as he repeatedly said he couldn't breathe and eventually went limp. The killing was recorded on video by a bystander and sparked worldwide protests as part of a broader reckoning over racial injustice. Kueng is already serving a federal sentence for violating Floyd's civil rights. Authorities in Beltrami County say a jail inmate now on life support after he was found unresponsive in his county jail cell. Staff members discovered the inmate around just before noon Wednesday. The sheriff says it was a suicide attempt. The inmate was transported to a Fargo hospital for treatment. There are reports that a Beltrami County employee who is charged with theft from the county has now passed away. A state audit alleges Ronald Pula made nearly $150,000 in unauthorized purchases with county funds. There's no word on the cause of death. Also, no word on if that suicide attempt at the county jail was Pula. WNBA star Brittany Griner back home in Texas now after being released from Russian captivity. The Biden administration negotiated her release from a Russian penal colony in exchange for an arms dealer. President Biden signed off on the trade, which took place in the United Arab Emirates. Griner has been in Russian custody since she was detained back in February on drug charges. Now, the deal did not include Paul Whelan, a U.S. corporate security executive who remains jailed in Russia as we speak. He's accused by the Russians as being a spy, which American officials say is not true. He's been in prison since December of 2018. Whelan told CNN that he's happy for Griner, but is disappointed that more has not been done to secure his own release. His brother says the president did the right thing, though.
His job is to protect all Americans and to care about all Americans. And it would have been wrong for him to leave behind an American when he had the ability to bring them home. And so I appreciate that he may have even waited. He may have even delayed in a hope that Paul might have been able to come home. But it was absolutely the right decision to bring Miss Griner home. And I'm so glad that he did. I'm super excited that she's free and able to spend the time with her family.
President Biden says the U.S. will never give up on Paul Whelan. Biden says the U.S. did not have a choice of who to bring home and that Russia refused to negotiate Whelan's release at this time. Biden says it was a choice between bringing home one particular American or bringing home none. The FM nursing community mourning the loss of one of their own, 56-year-old Rasia Coley. She had only been a nurse for 2 years, but quickly became family with her coworkers at Prairie St. John's in Fargo. They say she had a $1 million smile and she gave the best hugs.
If you're having a hard day, she could turn it around in just a few minutes and with being around her.
Rasia's son, 29-year-old James Coley Jr., is charged with killing his mother. A GoFundMe has now been set up to help with her burial expenses. We have a link to that fundraiser. It's on our VNL News app. Just click on this story. There will be no external review of the deadly police shooting of Shane Netterville in Fargo earlier this year. That was the decision last night by the Fargo Police Advisory and Oversight Board. Some members, as well as the Human Rights Commission, have been pushing for an outside investigation after the North Dakota Attorney General ruled the shooting was justified. The investigation report into the officer-involved shooting of Netterville is now available online. The battle against addiction can be a long and difficult, winding road, and some people have found solace in their journey as well as sobriety along the way. Families work to heal, and Valley News Team's Aaron Walling gives us a story of how it all happens.
The Soul Solutions Recovery Center has been in the Fargo-Moorhead area for a year now, helping over 470 people with substance use disorder.
There is hope out there and recovery is possible, and all you have to do is take that first step and reach out, and we will help with the rest.
They've helped 180 families as well.
It is so important to be able to talk this through.
For years, Nancy Frosaker's son has battled addiction.
You can give them all you want, but the disease is there and it's real.
And Frosaker says the help from Soul Solutions has helped her find ways to help her son throughout the process.
Recovery is really about instilling hope for people, and when you're in the midst of addiction, there's not a lot of hope. And one of our roles is to provide hope for people and to help them recognize that recovery is possible.
The message of hope is throughout the Recovery Center, trying to be a beacon for those that are struggling.
It doesn't matter what gender you are, it doesn't matter what income you might have, what kind of profession you might have. Addiction is real.
In Fargo, Aaron Walling, Valley News Live.
For more information on Soul Solutions and how it may be able to help your family, head on over to valleynewslive.com and click on this story. So to come this Friday morning, rewards and loyalty programs for you avid travelers. But we're finding out some are better than others, and you can save big on hotels and flights. We'll help break that down when we come back. But up next, weather to plan out your Friday as we look ahead to the weekend and we try to look through this hazy fog this morning. Meteorologist Lisa Green will be joining us after the break.